Most gardeners accidentally kill their vegetables. Most gardeners don't kill vegetables on purpose. In fact, the problem is usually the opposite. They care too much. A tomato starts looking weak, so they water it. A pepper seems slow, so they add fertilizer. A cucumber looks stressed, so they water again, and again, and again. At some point, the plant is basically living in a swamp. While the gardener stands nearby saying, "Why aren't you happy? I'm doing everything for you." Because when a plant struggles, our instinct is to do more. More water, more fertilizer, more attention, more panic. But sometimes, the exact thing you're doing to save a plant is the thing killing it. And that's why some gardeners harvest baskets of healthy vegetables, while others fight the same problems every single year. Not because they're working harder, not because they have a magical green thumb, but because they understand something most people miss. This may be the most important idea in the entire garden. Plants don't respond to effort. They respond to conditions. Nature doesn't reward hard work. It rewards the right environment. A seed doesn't care how much time you spent worrying about it. Roots don't grow faster because you checked on them 5 times today. And tomatoes definitely don't appreciate motivational speeches. Plants respond to temperature, moisture, airflow, sunlight, soil. And when those conditions are right, growth often looks effortless. That's why healthy gardens can seem almost magical. But what you're actually seeing is a plant growing in conditions that finally make sense. Once you understand that, you start looking at vegetables differently. They're not failing randomly. They're responding to the environment around them. And every vegetable has something it's trying to tell you. Here's the surprise most gardeners never realize. A struggling plant and a healthy plant can sometimes receive the exact same care. The difference is the environment. One gets conditions it likes, the other doesn't. And that's why adding more water, more fertilizer, or more attention often fails. You're treating the symptom instead of the cause. Once you see that pattern, garden problems start looking very different. Let's start with tomatoes, because almost every gardener has done this at least once. You notice the plant looking stressed, the leaves seem tired, the weather is hot. So you water. Then you water again the next day, just to be safe. Then maybe one more time, because surely a thirsty plant needs more water, right? Except one of the fastest ways to create tomato problems is to keep treating every symptom like dehydration. They need deep watering. They need roots that grow downward, searching for moisture. And they need air moving through the plant. Because a tomato sitting wet and crowded all day creates problems before you ever see the symptoms. Most tomato diseases don't start when the spots appear. They start weeks earlier, when the conditions quietly allow those problems to develop. The mistake isn't usually ignoring the tomato. It's loving it a little too aggressively. Peppers tell a different story, and if you've ever grown them, you probably know the frustration. Everything else in the garden is growing. The tomatoes are moving. The cucumbers are climbing. The weeds are thriving. But the peppers seem frozen in time. Many gardeners assume they need fertilizer, or more water, or some expensive garden product with a picture of giant peppers on the label. But peppers are often waiting for something much simpler. Warm soil, that's it. Because peppers love heat far more than many gardeners realize. Plant them too early, and they can sit almost motionless for weeks, looking unhealthy, looking stubborn, looking like they're personally offended by your gardening efforts. Then something fascinating happens. The weather warms, the soil warms, and suddenly the plant seems to wake up, as if it had been waiting all along. Because sometimes the plant wasn't struggling. It was waiting for the conditions to make sense. Cucumbers create a different kind of confusion. They grow fast, look healthy, then suddenly produce bitter fruit or uneven growth. Many gardeners respond by watering heavily. But the real issue is often inconsistency. Too dry, then too wet, then too dry again. Imagine someone forcing you to alternate between a desert and a swimming pool every few days. You probably wouldn't perform your best either. Cucumbers prefer stability. Think about a forest floor after a steady rain. The moisture stays relatively even. The soil doesn't constantly swing between extremes. That's what cucumbers like too. Stable moisture, not excessive watering. And once that stability appears, the entire plant often becomes easier to manage. And here's where things get really interesting. The same lesson keeps appearing. Tomatoes aren't asking for more water. Peppers aren't asking for more fertilizer. Cucumbers aren't asking for constant rescue missions. They're all responding to conditions. Different vegetables, different symptoms, the same underlying rule. Which means many garden problems aren't separate problems at all. They're different versions of the same mistake, trying to force growth instead of creating the environment that allows it. Once that clicks, you stop fighting your garden and start reading it. Then there's lettuce. And almost every gardener experiences this moment at least once. Everything looks perfect. The leaves are growing beautifully. You're already imagining salads. Then, seemingly overnight, the plant changes. A tall stem appears. The leaves become bitter. The lettuce bolts. And the first reaction is usually confusion. Many people assume the plant needs more fertilizer, more water, more attention. But lettuce is quietly telling you something else. It isn't really a summer crop. It prefers cool conditions. And once temperatures rise beyond its comfort zone, the plant shifts into survival mode. Not because it's unhealthy, because it's doing exactly what nature designed it to do. The lettuce isn't failing. It's trying to reproduce before conditions get worse. Unfortunately, that biological survival strategy tends to ruin lunch. Now think about zucchini. Perhaps no vegetable creates more confusion. The plant looks incredible. Huge leaves, strong growth, flowers everywhere. It takes up half the garden, possibly half the neighborhood. And yet, very little zucchini. This is where many gardeners start searching for diseases, nutrient deficiencies, secret gardening disasters. But often the plant is perfectly healthy. The problem is pollination. The flowers appear. Then tiny zucchini begin to form. And just when you're getting excited, they shrivel, turn yellow, and die. Many gardeners assume the plant is sick, but the real surprise is that nothing is wrong with the plant at all. The problem is that the flowers never received the pollination they needed. The plant spent energy creating fruit only to abandon it, which feels suspiciously similar to many human projects. The lesson is powerful. Sometimes healthy growth and successful harvests are not the same thing, because vegetables depend on relationships too. And when pollinators are missing, even a giant healthy zucchini plant can leave you wondering where all the zucchini went. And here's the discovery that changes how you see vegetables forever. They are constantly communicating. Yellow leaves, slow growth, poor harvests, bolting, stunted roots, weak fruit production. These aren't random failures. They're messages. Plants can't speak, so they communicate through growth, through color, through timing, through behavior. The challenge isn't fixing every problem immediately. The challenge is learning the language. Because once you understand what the plant is telling you, the solution often becomes surprisingly obvious. The healthiest gardens are rarely created by doing more. They're created by understanding what plants actually need, by paying attention, by observing, by adjusting conditions instead of increasing effort. And perhaps that's the lesson many gardeners spend years discovering. Sometimes abundance doesn't appear when we add something new. Sometimes it appears the moment we stop doing the thing that was holding the plant back. Because vegetables aren't asking us to work harder. They're asking us to listen.